Hello, welcome into another edition of The New Normal, where we talk with Samford coaches, athletes, and staff about the changes brought on by COVID-19. I'm John McAfoose today. I'm happy to be joined by Director of Olympic Strength and Conditioning, Jonathan Farris. Farris, appreciate your time.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me on.
Well, this is certainly a situation that's affecting everybody, and strength coaches certainly no exception. You guys are tasked with trying to make sure these student athletes are working out, staying in shape without actually being able to lead the workouts or really monitor them at all. Just talk about the challenges of trying to keep a team fit when you're isolated from each other.
Yeah. So, first off, this is, an abrupt change, and it's taken us out of our quote normal environment. And a lot of things that it's not just a weight room, but it's also a culture that we're missing out on. It's created a lot of challenges for us, you know, from a motivational standpoint, from a, team standpoint, we're really missing out on that. So, and not everybody at their house has a gym to work in or a weight room. So some people are on complete body weight programs. Some people are, all the way to the full workout that we normally do it, at Samford. So, and some people have limited equipment, but, we're facing the challenges as they come and making adaptations.
What are some of the restrictions right now as far as what you can do and what you can't do?
Yeah. So, the NCAA is restricting us as far as like we can send a workout to the athletes, but it's all voluntary. So this is much like what happens in the summer, where we can send the kids a workout, but we can't require them to do the workout. If they've got questions, they can ask us, but we can't check in or so like say, by tonight I need you to, tell me what times you got in your run or what weight you lifted today. Like we can't require them to turn any of that in. So it's just kind of it leaves a lot up to the student athlete to make a decision whether they're going to do the workout or not.
You mentioned that the range of equipment these student athletes have ranges from a full gym to basically nothing. For the people that don't have the equipment, what are some of the ways you're modifying these workouts?
Yeah. So what we did last month was we sent out a kind of a weight room inventory, all right, of what you got at home. So we just wanted to figure out like what each individual athlete has, that they're able to use at their house. So got the feedback from them. Based upon that, we took, let's say, the regular workout that they would do in a full weight room, and then broke it down into like, all right, you can, do this, do the normal, like you got the normal workout, and then you've got a dumbbell workout that's comparable to it, and then we've got one that's just a body weight workout. So we were able to change that up. Based on what they had, and to give them some options. So, if a kid, they may have dumbbells, and they're able to do part of the normal workout, whereas, they may not have another piece of equipment, so they need to modify it. So this just gave them a bunch of options that they could do at home.
And you guys also started up a Samford Strength and Conditioning Instagram account to help with this and post the workouts on there every day. How did that come about? And have you got some pretty good feedback from the student athletes on that?
Yeah. So we, before the Monday before we were shut down, um, we wanted to create a way that would still have some sort of competitive community for our student athletes while they were away. Um, and, Instagram's a pretty easy platform that most everybody's got an account for, and that we could reach most of the athletes that way. Just by posting the daily workouts and go and post some workouts Monday to Saturday. And this is just a supplemental workout. It's not the workout that our athletes will do to help them prepare for their season, which we send out through email, but just an extra workout if they were looking for something to do.
Have you talked with strength coaches from other schools just about how they're kind of handling this period?
Yeah, no doubt. So it's been almost like a weekly conversations been going on through web chats and through phone calls. I mean, I've talked to people, pretty much all around the country, and all up and down the East Coast and even into the Midwest, and um, even locally, from college to high school, um, to private sector strength conditioning. And it's, we're all in the same boat here. As a strength coach, we deal a lot with return to play and like dates, and we don't have any dates right now. So that kind of makes things a little more difficult when we're used to dealing with calendars. And so we've all got this challenge of like, all right, so when we do return to play, like, how much time are we going to get to, get these athletes ready to play, because we want them to be in the best shape possible, and, try and reduce as many potential injuries that are going to come up. So right now our main encouragement is just like, hey, we got to make sure that we're staying active and keep working out as athletes, and they need to know that, this is going to benefit them in the long term. There's a lot of unknown, and we have to take care of what's right in front of us.
Have you had individual student athletes reach out to you for advice? And what advice would you give right now to athletes who may be struggling to find ways to work out or even find motivation to work out?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've had several that have reached out to me. Because right now it's so unique. These are, we've got, as an athlete, like, we're always looking for um, ways to compete. Like, and all of a sudden, like, that was just ripped from us. Like, where's the competition now? Like, we're not even able to watch competition on TV except in replay form. And like, that's an aspect of being away from athletics that we're all hungry for, that we don't have. And so as that's been ripped away, it's, you kind of like shrug your shoulders and you're thinking, all right, well, what am I going to do now that that's gone, and how do I create that? And so one of the things that I was having a conversation with one of the athletes, and I said, think about when you were growing up, and you have to play in the neighborhood with all the other kids. Like, if you were the only one playing outside and you had your next door neighbor who wasn't outside, what'd you do? You went and knocked on the door and you asked them if they'd come out and play. I said, now we got to do that kind of in a virtual sense. Like, you have to invite somebody to come out and play. So if it's a workout that we've sent out as strength coaches, or whether it's the Instagram page, like, hey, let's do the workout and let's see, like, hey, what times did you get on the run? Or, how much weight did you lift today? Or how fast did you get that workout done? You just have to create that. You have to create it now, instead of just, expecting, like, hey, I've got a 3:00 workout with my team today in the Pete Hanna Center. We don't have that right now. So you have to, as an athlete, you have to invite people. Because I think right now, as we're isolated, like, sometimes we forget that element, and we forget that we can reach out to each other. But it's very important that we do that and just stay connected in that way, not only through like just social media posting, but picking up the phone, call somebody, FaceTime, text, group chat, check on upperclassmen, check on your underclassmen, see how they're doing. There's a lot of different ways that we can still create a competitive environment while we're away from each other.
On a more personal note, your wife suffers from an incredibly rare disease, and I'm sure that kind of makes this all hit a little bit closer to home for you.
Yeah, for sure. um yeah, just uh kind of when all this was starting up and we started hearing about the coronavirus. um you know Haley's really smart. She's a genius. And she she was talking about how dangerous this was. And especially for someone like her, she's immunocompromised. And so she receives immune replacement therapy once a month, just to try and help out. Like, the common cold for her can be more dangerous for her than it ever is for me. So with me being somebody who's out and about, and has contact with a lot of people before the shutdown even happened, it was you know, it was like one of those things where we just got to be more aware of it. And so once the virus started becoming more widespread, not only in the United States, but just worldwide, like um, we had to start being a lot more cautious. So she was already one of those people that wears a mask when we go out into public, just to help prevent and reduce, you know, uh, her catching anything, whether it was the cold or um, COVID. So she was tested probably the week, I think it was the week after we shut down everything. And the test came back negative, which was great. And, so being at home, we've isolated here. The only times that I'll go out, she doesn't leave the house, but anytime I go out, it's either to the pharmacy. We're getting all our groceries delivered to the house. Really not leaving at all. And so, you know, to kind of get you an inside look as to what we've dealt with and even what she's dealt with, like she's pretty much lived this life that everybody's being forced to live in right now for the past 8 years, since she's gotten sick. So I'm getting a small taste, and everybody's getting a small taste of what she's dealt with. And really her community for the past 8 years has been online. And so she fully understands what everybody's going through. And I just get a lot of encouragement from her on the daily, because she's lived this life for so long. And she's been a part of online community for a long time, and has proven that you can still have community through the internet. And so that's just, that's been a really hard thing for I think a lot of people to deal with, is not being able to have human interaction, face to face. And for her, like, her human interaction face to face would basically be me and the doctors that she would go see before all this went down. And I'm very thankful for all those people that are out there that are serving, that are taking care of people that are sick in the hospital right now. And it hits close to home, not with us, just Haley and I, but also you've already interviewed Olivia Crozier. I mean, she finished her basketball season and hit the ground running. I mean, she's at the forefront right now and on the front line. And just people from our athletic department, and from people that watch us play sports, that are now out there, and they're serving our hospitals and at these testing facilities, and just helping people out. And just know that we're praying for all you guys that are out there, and we're trying to do our part by just staying away and trying to flatten the curve.
Well, Farris, I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's Director of Olympic Strength and Conditioning, Jonathan Farris. I'm John McAfoose. Be sure to stay tuned to our Samford Athletics website and social media pages for more interviews with coaches, athletes, and staff in the coming weeks.